Hello, and welcome to the simple future tense. This is the last verb of the simple verb tenses in English. So, how we use it? We use this verb to express an action that is planned to happen in the future. And there are two ways of forming this verb tense. The first, we use will plus the infinitive verb. The second way to form this tense is to be plus going to plus the infinitive verb. Here are our examples. For the first method, our example is the cat will sleep. So we have the word will followed by the verb to sleep. For the second method, our example is the cat is going to sleep. So the word is conjugated from the infinitive verb to be, and that is followed by going to, and that is followed by the verb to sleep. Okay, so now we'll talk about the conjugations for the two methods. The first form that we spoke about, will plus infinitive verb, is quite simple. So our verb, our example, is to sleep. So we have I will sleep, you will sleep, he, she, or it will sleep, we will sleep, they will sleep. All conjugations are the same. Will, which is the auxiliary or helping verb, is followed by the unchanged original form of the verb. Our second method is a little bit more complicated. So it is to be plus going to plus infinitive verb. Our example will be to drive. The first thing we need to do is learn how to conjugate the verb to be. So here it is. I am, you are, he or it is, we are, they are. This is an irregular verb. So once we finish that, we can then add going to and then drive, which is the infinitive verb. So now we'll talk about contractions. And perhaps the most difficult part about contractions in the future tense, in the simple future tense, is the pronunciation, is knowing how to join the two words together and how to say it correctly. So I hope to just walk you through it, and it will be as painless as possible. It's not that hard, really. You just gotta practice. Okay, so on the left, we have the basics. I will, you will, he will, all the way down. In the middle column, we have the contract form, and on the right-hand side, we have the pronunciation. What I have here is a kind of transcribed way of pronouncing the words, because in English sometimes you'll see a word and the correct pronunciation is something completely different. That's just how English is, and we all have to deal with it, sadly. So, I will. The contracted form is I'll. I'll. You're saying the word I, and then you're adding a little bit of ill to the end. So it's I'll. You will is you'll. You'll. You can also shorten it. You can say you'll. There's no problem in that. He will. He'll. He'll. She will. She'll. She'll. It's like he'll, but you're just adding the sh sound. You can't say shall. You have to elongate the e's. She'll. It will. This is probably the most confusing part. It'll. It'll. You can say it'll, but it's a little tough. Native speakers, we will change the T to a D sound. So it's it'll. It'll. We will. It's we'll. So it's like he'll and she'll, but it's we'll. And lastly, they will. They'll. They'll. It's not they'll. The TH, it has a little bit of a Z sound. They'll. They'll. Our example, he will go to the movies tomorrow. And in the contracted form, he'll go to the movies tomorrow. We're now going to talk about how to make the negation. And there are two ways, just like there are two ways to make the affirmation. So the first method is will plus not plus infinitive verb. The second form is to be. Remember, you have to conjugate it. Plus not plus going to and plus the infinitive verb. And the contracted form, won't, plus infinitive verb. For our examples, the first one is to do. I will do the dishes later. This means I will clean the dishes later. But in English, we just say I will do the dishes later, or I will do the dishes. And the negation is I will not do the dishes later. I will not. The second example is to ride. He is going to ride the horse. The negation, he is not going to ride the horse. To take. She will take the plane to Paris. What take means in this context is to fly, or to fly on the plane, to be a passenger on the plane. And the negation, she won't take the plane to Paris. Our last example is to buy. We're going to buy these shoes. And the negative form is we're not going to buy these shoes. And lastly, asking questions. Once again, there are two ways. The first is will plus subject plus infinitive verb. The second is to be plus subject plus going to plus infinitive verb. Remember that the subject is the one who will be doing the action. So for our examples, to write. Will you write this letter for me? The subject here is you. To turn on. Is he going to turn on the air conditioner or the AC? The subject is he. To fight. Are they going to fight again? The subject is they. Thank you so much for watching to the end, and I hope to see you in the next video.